Are these efforts done in order to try and further appease Donald Trump?
No, in fact, these efforts were part of our platform, hiring 1,000 new CBSA RCMP officers. Let me just focus on CBSA, the announcement we made today, adding 1,000 new officers. If you look at trade, we are expanding trade. There are a number of new ports of entry that are likely to come on board. If you look at Port of Prince Rupert, for example, it is expected to triple in terms of volume over the next decade. So there's a real need to have additional people who are working at our borders. Right now, we have 10,000 men and women who are staffing the border with the RCMP and CBSA. This will be an additional 1,000 people through the CBSA front, and around 750 to 800 additional RCMP officers. This is about ensuring the safety and security of our borders, but also to facilitate trade as we expand trade across different parts of the world.
If the need is exactly as you spell out, why did it take 6 months to re-announce this?
Well, this is actually not an announcement of the program itself or the commitment. This is the program going forward. So starting within the next couple of weeks, we will be hiring and actually training people at Rego. We have resources available at the training facility. We have a number of people who are in a recruitment pool that we will be able to confirm that they are being recruited to the CBSA. And this is now about execution. It's not the announcement where we're saying we're going to do this, we're actually doing this. And this will be starting, as early as the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm meeting with the president of CBSA Monday morning to finalize the plans for the recruitment of the new 1,000 RCMP officers over the next CBSA officers over the next 5 years. And we will be executing it forthwith.
So just to be clear, it's 1,000 over 5 years?
That's correct.
Is that enough to meet the need? And I ask because it was not a year ago that I was interviewing your predecessor at the time, Minister Dominic LeBlanc, about the CBSA, the union representing CBSA officers who had long, almost for 10 years, called for additional resources at the border, saying they simply did not have the ability to keep up pace with criminal activity or trade, as you point out. They were calling at the time for 2,000 to 3,000. I remember the minister dismissing that out of hand and saying that's what unions do. They ask for more resources. Now you're conceding that there are some additional resources needed, but 1,000 over 5 years, is that really going to make a dent?
Well, let me just speak about what we're doing. So the additional officers is in addition to the $1.3 billion we invested at the border. So we were at Niagara Falls today at the Rainbow Crossing. We saw the new technology that's being deployed for issues such as scanning and making sure that the CBSA has the top-notch tools to be able to do its job effectively. Additional measures that are part of the announcement today is the incentives for existing CBSA officers and incentivizing individuals to continue to be part of the organization. So if you look at the 1,000 new personnel that were announced as part of our CMP yesterday, it does speak to the increased level of commitment as well as personnel that will be staffing our borders.
Okay, I just before I let you go, Minister, I do want to ask you as well about India against the backdrop of your portfolio, the public safety of Canadians. A year ago, the RCMP was telling Canadians that Indian diplomats were committing crimes on Canadian soil. A year later, new diplomats have arrived. I just interviewed the brand new Indian High Commissioner to Canada. Do he or his colleagues pose a risk to the public safety of Canadians, Minister?
Let me just say that over the last several months, both the Prime Minister and Minister Anand have been, along with many of our security personnel, including the National Security Advisor to the Prime Minister, the RCMP Commissioner, head of CSIS, have made some very important engagements with India, whether it's the G7 or last week's trip by Minister Anand, with the expectation that we were able to clear the air and we were able to ensure that India is well aware of Canada's concerns, and any form of intrusion into Canada's sovereignty or that impacts the safety and security of Canadians will not be accepted under any circumstances. Having said that, we are also in a world right now where we're engaging and expanding our conversations and engagements with other countries, including India, and I believe we can do both. We can engage India in a proactive, positive way vis-a-vis trade, but we can also ensure that this relationship is built on trust, and any issues where trust has been impacted, we are in the process of mending, and we're in the process of making clear that this relationship does require greater cooperation vis-a-vis security, and also ensuring that Canada and Canadians are safe and secure against any foreign interference.
But that's very much what it's not just foreign interference, right? What the RCMP alleged was when Indian diplomats were here, they committed, this is the allegation very specifically, they committed crimes, serious crimes, including murder, being linked to murder, on Canadian soil. When they left, the RCMP commissioner told me that the threat level dissipated in a commensurate way. Now there are Indian diplomats back here on Canadian soil. My question to you, Minister, was whether or not you are sure they do not pose a threat to Canadians' public safety.
What I can assure Canadians is that we have a new set of individuals who are now staffing the Indian mission, and we have relationships with the government of India at a very high level, where issues that have arisen over the past are being dealt with, are being addressed in a way that does enable us to continue the relationship. India and Canada have long-standing people-to-people relationship and ties that are quite critical, that does require consular support on both fronts, and in part that's one of the reasons why we have reestablished relationships, and we will continue to engage, and we will have frank conversations with our counterparts as and when required. But I can assure Canadians today that this is a very important move that will ensure that we go on a path towards normalizing relations.
But my question was whether or not you're sure that they don't pose a public safety risk. I literally interviewed him, and the High Commissioner had a very different understanding of what clearing the air meant. His focus was on Canada's role in controlling Sikh separatism. He, just like his predecessor, dismissed any notion whatsoever that any wrongdoing had been committed by diplomats previously. Like, how are you sure that the Canadians who were allegedly targeted before will not be targeted again? How can you ensure for their public safety that that is the case?
Well, on a couple of issues. First off, as you're aware, we listed the Bishnoi gang about 2 months ago, or a month and a half ago, which really does indicate how seriously this government takes issues around safety and security of Canadians. With respect to the new mission and the individuals who are part of the mission, I can assure you that the Minister Anand, as well as senior officials, including the National Security Advisor, have had direct conversations at a very high level in India, and we've made it abundantly clear that Canada is not, there's no open season in Canada. We will do what it takes to ensure the safety and security of Canadians, but we will also ensure that we have bilateral relations that does allow us to not just have these conversations, but also to build an element of trust where we can move forward. The issues around the last year and a half, 2 years, I think we can say that we need to put that behind us. We need to ensure that those who are responsible are held to account, and that's what the court system will, as we go through the courts, those individuals who are responsible will be held to account, and we are looking to turn the page and to ensure that there are better relations based on trust and based on ensuring that we do not go to the past again.
Okay, I'll leave it on that note. Minister, I appreciate your time as always. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You as well.